Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day 17 of the festival. Last day. Woohoo!
Woo-hoo!
We're doing this. And we got some exciting things happening today. And I'm still freezing today. I don't know what's going on, but we'll figure it out. I want to get started with talking to Vireo today because she's going to not only give us a podcast, she's going to give us a talk today. So tell us what that's all going to be about, Vireo.
Yes, good morning. Well, it's morning for me. The sun is literally just rising here. It is called The Naked Truth. 3 sex myths that every mom deserves to know. And I'm super excited about that. It's a big deal because as moms, we're often too tired for sex or anything else. So yeah, I'm super excited. I wish I would have known what I'm going to share when I was a mom with younger children. I now have adult children. So I'm going to save people the misery of um, some of the challenges that I navigated and share some myths that are going to support each of you here as a mom. That'll make a difference moving forward in your life. So we're going to, bust through one of the biggest myths that's probably blocking you from even caring about sex at all. Maybe you're just like, I am too tired to care about sex, but you will want to care about it after you hear the naked truth.
Well, we are so excited to have you on. And I don't know why my camera keeps freezing. So everyone can hear me, though? We're good with that? All right. So Vero's, we're first going to do a podcast interview, and then Vero's going to give her individual talk about the same topic. So you'll get a chance to explore a little bit more. And then at 12:30 p.m. Central Time, we're going to, Jackie and Abigail, part of the panel as well, we're going to be talking about the Mama Genius Inspire Hub. And it's where moms get to rediscover themselves and thrive and join a lively place where we get to support, reconnect, build connections, and support each of our kids' unique genius. We're going to hear from some of the experts who are already inside the hub and how it works and their mini courses and all those things that go with it. And we're going to have an offer for some of you who might want to be what we call beta members and be the ones who will get a free membership to help us dive in to make sure that it works for busy moms, to make sure that it is the place to do this. And so I'm going to give Abigail a chance to tell us a little bit about why she wanted to do the hub.
Well, thank you very much, Michelle. So the reason I wanted to do the hub was I didn't want to do the hub at first. I'm just going to throw that out there. I was trying to push the hub off on somebody else. I had some people, some friends that the Lord had hooked me up with that I thought would be perfect. They have messages for parents and for teens and talking to how to talk to your teens and just things that I think I would have liked to learn when I was out there trying to figure out how to talk to my teens. And I kept presenting it to them and they didn't bite. So I presented it again and they didn't bite. And so I'm like, Lord, am I supposed to do this? And he said, yeah. And so I stepped in. And what I found was something that I didn't expect. I found a community of women whose hearts mirrored my own and who had information that right now I wish I had had 35 years ago when I was raising one of my children. I have found a community of like-minded moms who are looking to do the same thing, raise children who are healthy, who know who they are, who will be an asset to society, who will make a difference. I believe that within every child, there has been placed a key, something that's needed in this earth. And this community is filled with women who believe the same thing and who are willing to step in and make a difference with our children. So my part is fear. I believe there's too much fear surrounding our children and ourselves, and we pass those fears on to our children. And what we're not realizing is that the more we focus on the thing we fear, the more that thing grows. And so my part is to help us stop that, to take our kids out of fear and help them walk in peace. So I think I should stop now because I could go on and on, but that's why I became involved in the hub.
Putting you on the spot, Jackie.
I am on the spot. I am excited to be a part of the hub. Now, I raised 5 children as a single mom. And during that time, internet was just being introduced, as they got older, and MySpace was a place. And that was before Facebook. And they were a part of MySpace. And at that time, I wanted a way to be able to work from home because I was working because I had to. I was the single mom and I had 5 looking at me saying, "Mommy," but I also wanted to be there to raise them. And even in that little bubble that we lived in, we pulled it off, right? We got the supplies. I worked multiple jobs. I did them in a creative way where it would allow me to be there when I could for different events that they were doing. But this hub just offers so much. Our life, when we look at that, it's like, oh, well, we couldn't just pick up our phone and say, "Show me how to join the Navy after 17 years of being out of the Army." I could do that now, but it took me going to Blockbuster, seeing a flyer and getting the business card to do it back then. But now with all of this information overload, sometimes it can be, so much noise that you just need a space to go where you can get what you need for that minute to help you get through those next 10 minutes or next hour that you have to face something that could be challenging. I believe this hub will offer that. It will offer that for moms, busy moms, single parents, a safe place to kind of get that, like Abigail was saying, erase that fear and look at that bright future. If you focus on that light, that bright, then you're going to follow that bright. But if you focus on that dark and that fear, well, what are you going to follow? You're following what you're focusing. So this offers a space that we can come, a safe space, get advice, get guidance, and journal and draw through whatever it is that we are facing at that time in our life at that moment. I believe that will serve many well.
Well, thank you so much, Jackie. And I have to say that even this morning, we're even starting this live late because we had, it's hard for people to get on time. But you know what I did? I put the call out. And what happens when you put the call out to the group? This is what happens is you get people to show up. And that's what it's about. And honestly, I have to say I was in tears this morning, just a lot of emotions, things, just one of those mornings, right? But when you put the call out and you have people show up, that's what this is about, is really find that support that you need. And so I'm so grateful because this is why I even create the hub in the first place, was for that support. And even I need it at times too. And so first of all, I just want to say thank you to each one of you for showing up this morning for me and for everyone else, but also just because I put the call out, and I'm so appreciative. On that note, though, we also do have a prize that we'll be giving out, and what we're going to be doing tomorrow or the next day, one of the 2 days, we're going to pride post of all the prizes that were won during this festival. And there's speakers who are giving away prizes in different programs and talks, times with them and all that. We're going to put that all inside the post and match the speakers with the winners so we can start this connection and really keep this momentum going. So today's question, if you want to come answer and be one of those prize winners, is how do you help your kids face their fears and feel more confident? And actually, I'm going to tell you a story from last night. Was that Lily my youngest, has been kind of a little obsessed with the Phantom of the Opera. I have no idea why. or where exactly it came from. I don't know if it came from a music class or what, but she's been like afraid of the Phantom of the Opera and like having all these stories in her mind. So last night I went and I found the synopsis for the Phantom, and we talked about it, and we kind of went through just to show what it is, to like alleviate those. A lot of times the fears just come from the circling of our thoughts, right? And so how we do it for ourselves is how we need to do it for our kids sometimes, and just talk through what the story is in our head right now, what's happening, where is it coming from. And I'm not saying that you don't need to be afraid of it or it's not, but let's at least explore what is right now. And so that's what we did last night. So I don't know who wants to take it next. Go for it, Vireo.
I'd love to share. What I know now, I wish I would have known when my adult sons were younger. But what I would say to my sons is that fear and excitement are actually two sides of the same coin. And I'm going to give an example. A caterpillar that is becoming a butterfly. The caterpillar in the chrysalis literally goes into this shaking, this praxis, which is like the fear and the excitement, right? And the caterpillar is very sure that it is going to die as it's in this discomfort, uncomfortable. And that's actually normal, that part of the caterpillar does die so that it becomes this butterfly. So I would remind my children, my sons, I would remind them and myself that when I feel this energy of fear, it's this praxis, it's a lot of energy, to actually celebrate it, that it's evidence that I am moving beyond my comfort zone, and that the fear is actually also excitement. And I would yeah, let's give it space. Let's make some noise. Because we tend to contract when we're in that fear, and that doesn't help us, right? It just makes us go into fight, flight, freeze in the reptilian mind. So if we actually breathe and then give it space, I would remind them it's like the butterfly wings need space. So we would give it space, make some noise, and then that would, and celebrate it and go, yeah, wow, okay, I'm moving from what's comfortable for me into something that's uncomfortable. And it's absolutely normal to have the fear, and it's normal to have the excitement. We can focus on the fear, or we can focus on the energy of excitement and just move around, give it space, and go, wow, yeah, look at, I'm excited. And which one do I want to choose? I'm going to focus on the excitement rather than the fear. The fear will cause me to contract. The excitement will cause me to expand. And that both of these are normal. Both of these energies are normal.
Thank you, Vireo. Does Jackie or Abigail want to chime in on the question of the day?
Sure. I'll follow Vireo. What a great example and what a great lesson for your sons to hear and remember. I'm sure they thought of that many times. I am reminded of what Mulan's father told her. There is no courage without fear. And many times throughout my life, I have been afraid going to a new assignment, having to meet new people in a whole new country. The first time I arrived in the Middle East, there were a lot of unknowns, a lot of questions that I had to walk through, and I was by myself. So these times are also sometimes the biggest impact that it has, because like Vireo was explaining, there's two sides of that coin. And I didn't necessarily get excited, but when I was walking through it, I definitely was taking notes. I was on alert. I was paying attention. I was acknowledging the differences and learning from them. So though fear is not something that we want to land in forever, I don't want to live in that place of fear, like what Abigail was talking about earlier. I want to focus on the bright. But sometimes in order to get to the bright, you got to walk through that shadow of the valley. But though you know you're there, you also know who and what is with you and who has brought you through many, many other shadowy moments in your life. And as a child, I used to have nightmares, and I used to force myself to look under the bed so I wouldn't be able to think there was something there. I would make myself literally put my head down and look under the bed. So when I was speaking with my children, at times I wondered, do they have that same fear? And maybe we can walk them through something that we did to help us walk through the fear and not just stay there. But maybe that's helpful.
I love that. I think it's fitting we end with you, Abigail.
I'm sitting here thinking, I grew up in New York City, the only child of one parent who worked nights. So I walked the streets of New York City as a teenager, as a teenage girl with no brothers or sisters. And my mother taught me Psalm 23 and Psalm 91, and I walked with no fear. She taught me because I read the Bible. I found things that talked against fear. And every time I saw fear not, it said, do not be afraid because I am with you. So your question was, how do you help your kids face their fears and feel more confident? What was taught to me, I taught to them. What my mother gave me, I gave to them. If my mother had fear, that's what she would have given me. And my kids would have been taught something totally different. But what she gave me took the fear away, helped me. And I've been in situations, I'm 73 years old, and most of the kids I grew up with are no longer here. So obviously something she taught me worked. And so that's how I helped my kids face their fears. Yeah, there are things that come up like speaking, like whatever it is we're called to do, there are things that rise up within us. But we face them and go on because there is nothing that's in this world that's greater than who is in them. And that's what I taught them. And so that's how they face their fears, whatever comes up.
Well, thank you, Miss Abigail, and thank you all for joining me this morning and answering my call, my ask for help. And that's what this group is all about, is for us to reach out to each other. And sometimes in motherhood, it's hard to ask for the help, but we're trying to create that supportive environment so that we do have that strength and that energy to do it when we need to. But we're also in here, and you just heard 4 completely different ideas on different ways to do this. And that's what this is about, is find the idea that works for you. There's no advice in here. These are ways that have worked, things that we've done, but then you take it and listen to your intuition. Do I think this will work for my kid? Do I think this would help them? Because you've got 4 different ideas right here just to get started with. And that's what the answering the question is. So for us to give each other those ideas and those examples. And on that note, we'll see you inside the hub or inside the Facebook group shortly for Vireo live podcast. We'll see you all later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Last day.